Hey there, everybody. This is Ken, and welcome back to Golden Stud Gaming. Today, we are tackling Episode 5 of our Complete Saga playthrough, The Empire Strikes Back. This is, last episode when I was playing The New Hope, I talked a lot about which one I thought was my favorite episode. It would either be New Hope or Empire Strikes Back of all of them. And I kind of batted myself back and forth. I was like, I don't know. And I sort of leaned on New Hope being my favorite. But, I'm wondering if that was just because it was top of my mind as I was playing. I was really remembering it was the first. It's a classic. This Empire is just, it's full of so much great stuff. We got Hoth, we've got Dagobah, we've got Bespin. They're all fantastic locations, fantastic action set pieces. The story's killer. So I don't know. Let's go ahead and go through this. And by the end of this episode, I am going to have a final which one is my favorite. Therefore, the correct answer on which one is the best Star Wars episode. So let's go ahead and get into it with Chapter 1, The Hoth Battle of The Empire Strikes Back. Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Chapter 1. Hoth battle. I could probably speed this up a little bit. Come on. It is a dark time for the rebellion. Although the Death Star has been destroyed, Imperial troops have driven the rebel forces from their hidden base and pursued them across the galaxy. Evading the dreaded Imperial Starfleet, a group of freedom fighters led by Luke Skywalker has established a new secret base on the remote ice world of Hoth. The evil Lord Darth Vader, obsessed with finding young Skywalker, has dispatched thousands of remote probes into the far reaches of space. Very exciting. All right, here we go. And here are these great little droids. Oh, I love the design of these little droids. These things were very cool. Sound effects were great. There it is. Lands like a meteor. The little legs. I guess they're hands, too. Maybe more hands than legs, even though they're on the bottom. I mean, it doesn't walk. Oh, there goes Luke. Oh, Luke. Captured once again. With the Yeti guy. Oh. Nice. Huh? And Han's gonna. It looks like they're basically. Yeah, they're gonna skip through. I could see doing two chapters on Hoth easily, but I guess they're only gonna do one. All that stuff with Han trying to locate Luke, running around on his whatcha-ba-ding dong. The what are those guys' names that are running the Tauntauns? The Tauntauns. Jeez Louise, I'm getting mine's a little blank today, as usual. But looks like we are just going to get all that in a cutscene, and now we are going to play through the assault on the rebel base by the Imperials with the AT-ATs, and this is such a great scene. I love these. The snow speeders it's just great. Of course, once again, it's a it's a vehicle mission, so we know how vehicle missions are. I'm not sure what we're supposed to be doing here. So let's just go fly around, and that doesn't look like anything we can do. All right. I'm guessing there's bombs somewhere. And I'm not seeing any indication. Oh, I got a mini kit. Not sure if I'm supposed to just be blowing all these up. Okay, let's go the other direction and see if I feel like there's probably bombs. There's always bombs. Yep, there's some bombs. What am I supposed to do here? All right, let's take that. Oh, look at that. I never noticed this before. That those little probe droids are attaching themselves to the bomb and slowing me down. That is actually pretty cool. I don't have any memory of that at all. And I have a feeling that they're going to keep me from rolling this into this gate up here, which is what I'm probably supposed to be doing. There it is. Yep. All right. Let's go ahead. We're gonna get no studs at all. And here we got some AT-ATs. Oh yeah, those guys are so cool. Let's pick up the bomb. Come on. Oh my gosh. You know, this is almost a tragedy. This is like Shakespeare. So the Hoth battle is one of the classic. I mean, this is one of the greats. This is one of the greatest scenes in cinematic history. And the rendition of it in the Lego game is going to be horrible because it is... Let's see if I can take these guys down. I can! Is because it's a vehicle mission, and we know how vehicle missions are in Lego. Let's do this. This is... Let's see. Is he going to fall? Yeah. Come on. Oh my gosh. Toledo. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so frustrating. I need to get the bomb. It is actually kind of funny that I can do this. And it looks like I'm getting credit for this. Let's see if I can get this guy to fall. He's shooting those bombs over and over again. Come on. There he goes. All right, let's see. Hold on. Take in there. Nice! All right. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and take these guys out. It's going to be a lot less frustrating if I take them out first. So let's go ahead. Let's wrap them up. Knock them down. And then bomb them. There he goes. And grab that bomb. And send him hacking. And down he goes. And that is also enough to take that out. Looks like I got to just hit one more bomb in there. Anyone else? Awesome. Come on. There we go. Now let's get this right over here. And... booyah! All right, I'm starting to get the knack of it. Horrible. Some of these guys are going to take out. There's like 5 of them here. Oh, baby. All right, now I got to get a bomb up there, which means I got to maneuver it past that stuff from all the way down here. What are the chances of this thing reaching it without something screwing up? Let's see. I'm giving 2 to 1 against. Maybe. Ah! I mean, I still died, but there's no way I'm getting any studs for this mission. Let's go. And into the next area. Got a bunch of probe droids. This looks like some kind of wave combat. Yep, I gotta just destroy everything. Where are they all? I think they're over here somewhere. There he is. There's 2 of them. Come on, you're down. There's another one. 3 more. See if I can find them. There's 1. There's 2. 1 more. And there he is. What else we got? We got another wave coming. Now we got AT-STs, and then I'm guessing after this wave, we got AT-ATs that we got to take down. These guys we can just shoot. We'll go ahead and just do that. So yeah, let's do some while we're just doing the vehicle mission here, which is just it is what it is. Let's talk movies. Let's try and resolve this once and for all on which one is better. I'll give some pros and cons for both of them and then hopefully by deep scientific analysis we can finally put this whole thing to rest and answer the question once and for all which one is better. So let's start with New Hope. New Hope was if you consider the historical item of it, I mean, it was revolutionary. There was really, most might be too young to remember this, but like that movie was just revolutionary. There was not much like it before then. The science fiction movies before then just weren't like this. We sort of take it for granted now that we have so much stuff like this now. Got 2 AT-ATs to take down. But yeah, so there was nothing like it, so it was huge. But that's interesting from a historical perspective. But that really doesn't count when we're just deciding what we like the best. So unless you're like a film history nerd, but aside from the historical awesomeness of it, come on, go ahead and wrap him up. Besides all that, it's just a darn kick-butt movie. Look at these guys. I wonder if those things keep respawning. Or if I kill them once, will they stay down? This is the stuff that frustrates me in this game. It's like a lot of this stuff respawns, and it's just always getting in your way. But okay, so let's talk about the sequence. The story structure of A New Hope is extremely classic. I mean, it is farm boy. These guys. Farm boy finds out that he's special and he's going to go out and he's going to take out the big bad guys. And, he has some conflict along the way, meets awesome characters. And look at this. It's ridiculous. Let's see. Maybe if I could do it this way. Yeah, that might be a little better. Just shoot while I'm doing it. So the story structure is really classic. Simple, but I think simple is good, especially in, for movies like this. You don't want to get too complicated with your story structure. You're going to...
2 hours later.
There we go. Good grief. That was much harder than it should have been. So what were we talking about? We'll go back to New Hope. Yeah, so story structure is really simple, which is good. I think that's to the benefit of the movie. The action scenes are amazing. The effects are unbelievable. Even today, with all the digital and the craziness that they are able to accomplish in movies, everything was very practical in this. It was a lot of models. There were no computers back then, at least not in the sense of how we think of computers now. And yet the effects were amazing. They hold up. They still look great. They, come on, let's get it. Yes. The sequences themselves were well choreographed. The writing is actually great. It's very minimal. There's some dialogue. There's exposition. Things are talked about as opposed to shown in some cases, which isn't always the best, but it just works. But on the downside, I mean, it is a very simple story. There's some great set pieces and all that, but, the story is not particularly complicated. So if you like a complicated story, that's not what you're going to find here. Let's go around and got one of those big dudes to take out. A bunch of the little ones. Another one. We got 2 more AT-STs somewhere. There's one. And there's the other. And just an AT-AT left. Go ahead and wrap him up. So Empire. Empire is of the originals. It's the only one that was directed by someone other than George Lucas. It was, geez Louise, what was the guy's name? Somebody let me know in the comments what his name was, or I'll look it up and put it in there. Take that for what it's worth. I do think it's really well structured, well done. The story is much more involved. Like, there's a lot of mystery that gets involved. This movie the original Star Wars was filmed as a self-contained movie. You know, Lucas talked about having all of these mapped out ahead of time, and I don't know how true that is. Regardless of what he may have had in his head, this movie, with the original Star Wars, New Hope, was filmed to be a standalone. He didn't know if people were going to like it. He didn't know if he would ever get to make another movie. So it's a very self-contained story. It's got hooks for future, but nothing, no massive cliffhanger or anything like that. Whereas this movie, this ends on a massive cliffhanger. Like, you get to the end of this movie and the ending there is no ending. It's a cliffhanger that takes you to the next movie, which could actually be a downside. It's hard to just sit and watch Empire by itself in a vacuum. If you haven't seen the other ones, you're not going to know what's going on, because all these characters show up. You don't know who any of them are. They're not really introduced. Maybe there's a line of dialogue saying something about them, but for the most part, hold on, let's go ahead and read this next crawl, and then we'll get back to talking about the movies. Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. What is this, Chapter 2? Hopefully it's not a vehicle mission. Escape from Echo Base. No, it's not going to be a vehicle mission. Imperial forces have mounted a relentless assault on the Rebel base on Hoth. The Rebel fighters have held out bravely, but the enemy is overwhelming. In the Echo Base Command Center, carved deep into the ice of the frozen planet, Han Solo and Princess Leia monitor the evacuation of Rebel personnel. But as stormtroopers breach the outer defenses, they must quickly find an escape route for themselves. All right. Yeah, so Empire is not a standalone. It relies on you having seen New Hope, because you're not going to know who any of these characters are. You're not going to know who Vader is. None of these. It relies on seeing Return of the Jedi, because in the end they leave. I mean, it does. It just stops. I mean, there's a nice little final music score that kicks up, but story-wise, it just ends, and you're left wondering what's going to happen. So not much is resolved. So from that standpoint, in some ways, it might be inferior, because it doesn't tell a self-contained story. On the other hand, come on, take those guys down. However, the movie itself, the story that it's telling, Act 2 in a trilogy, is extremely well done. I mean, the set pieces are great. The conflict is amazing. You're going to see it all here. We start out with a huge, really. All right, let's do this one more time. Not sure what's going on here. Push this. Ah, there we go. What else we got in here? Right? Maybe I shoot this? Nope, just opens. Perfect. But yeah, I mean, it starts with it's just killer. When you see those AT-ATs approaching the base, and it's all stop motion models and everything like that. It just looks so good. And it's exciting. And then you've got Luke traveling to Dagobah to continue his, what do we got here? Luke going to learn the Force, which he up till now he demonstrated using the Force a little bit when he destroyed the Death Star. He trusted in his feelings, Luke. and managed to pull off a really, really difficult shot that nobody else was going to make, taking the whole thing down. All right, what's next here? I need C-3PO. Where is C-3PO? Is he with me? Where's everybody else? Why did nobody follow me out of this room? Where is everyone? There's Leia. Maybe I have more to... She's walking over there to... Let's just shoot both these directions here. I am guessing. Probably not the rocks. It's probably these. Yeah, there we go. That was already... annoying. Go. Go there. Give this a push. Right. Ah, I see. There we go. There. Now it's going to send that down there. It's probably going to blow up those rocks now. Ah. Yep, there it goes. And then it's going to go and blow up those rocks straight ahead. All right, very clever. I don't know why I didn't just shoot those boxes the first time I saw them, but, you know, old man never learns. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. I think I need Jar Jar in order to make this jump. Yeah, can't do a double jump. So yeah, back to the Empire and how amazing the sequences are. So you've got this, and then you've got the whole escape. This is, you know, it is a good representation of the story so far. As the attack happens, there we go. There's 3 people. Him. They're gonna come over here and open this door for us. So after this, Luke is gonna go to Dagobah, and the rest are gonna go to Bespin, to the Cloud City, and have that whole thing with Lando and everything that happens there. So you've got kind of like 2 parallel stories happening. This is probably going to go here. Yep. There we go. This is the hangar to get out. You got to free the... push this down here. Get these guys out some more. That guy. And one more here. And this guy. And let's see if they're going to keep spawning in. Hopefully just be able to push this there. I think we're going to have to get all these boxes in the right spot. That should open up a door or something like that. Yeah, so we've got parallel stories happening. Ooh. This. Oh. Yeah, very nice. This goes to here. What else? We've got another one here. And then that one looks like an extra. I'm not sure what the point of that one's going to be. We will find out. That one there. And then, yeah, you have Luke coming back from Dagobah after being trained but not sufficiently trained. Ooh, look at that. And so... Right, he's going to land right on it, so that's easy enough. Ah, there we go. There's a little, there's a catapult there. All right, that was kind of, that was pretty funny. I should have figured that out sooner too. Oh, hey now, that's a deep hole. Avoid these. Nice. Get away from this. Blows up and opens that door. Go. At some point, we are going to... Hey-oh. At some point, we gotta find the Falcon. But, yeah, this is the sequence where, you know, the first movie, that's the amusing thing is, so in the first movie, nobody knows that, oh, I need 4. Oh, that's pretty cool. I got to roll down that and hit the buttons. All right, that's kind of neat. I got what I have to do here. Looks like it's gonna be a pain, but I can do it. In the first movie, nobody knows about Luke and Leia. Yeah, I have to just go down straight. 2 people. Well, oh, they're staying lit at least, so I just have to keep going down this until I get all of them. So at least there we go. Yeah, that's perfect. That's good. Thought that might be some time switches that would take forever to. Here we go. Yeah. So in the first movie, there's little tension. Han Solo and Leia don't much care for each other, and there's some comedy to that and everything, but they don't really do anything about insinuating there's a relationship going on. This one, that all changes. Luke and Leia start out still not liking each other very much, but their relationship grows over the course of this movie until they, oh, look at that, double zone, where I might actually pick up a good amount of points. That's awesome. What's this? Is there any, is that it? I feel like that needs to be destroyed in order to do something else, but that's going to be later. Oh, I hear Chewbacca. I just heard a growl. Let's see. Camera here is not great either. Right? Here we go. Push these. Push that there. I hear Chewbacca. I hear his little growl. He's somewhere. Don't know where. He's somewhere around here. There we go. Step on that. Somebody go step on the other one. Opens the door. Yeah, so, yeah, the idea of Luke and Leia, who in the first movie, it would make... that's actually kind of an interesting thing about that movie, too, is like traditionally, Luke and Leia Luke would get Leia in the end, that would be the, his reward, if you want to put it crudely. But there is none of that. Leia has actually got a ton of agency in that movie. Yeah, there is no romance really in the movie, other than, there's a little bit of, oh, look at, she's so pretty and some of that. And there's, an amusing tension between her and Han, as always, joking about her being, your highness. And that continues in this movie. But this movie is where there's, love interest and romance is introduced. Jealousy gets introduced. There's a pseudo love triangle between with Han, Leia, and Luke, but the reality is that it's not. There's nothing between Luke and Leia, and you find out why in this movie. So, the story, to go back to, what was my point of all this? I'm rambling. The point of all this is that, is that a light? That's interesting. What kind of button there? Huh. I can put these things over there, that's for sure. Yep. There's one. The other one right here. So yes, a more complex story. I won't say it's more competently told, because the first movies, it wasn't, that New Hope is not about a complicated story. It is about, it's like those action serials from the 40s and the old radio programs. So it's not about a complex story. It's about a rollicking, adventure that's happening. And, oh, I got to turn this off somehow. Not sure how I'm going to accomplish that. Ah. Did that do anything? There we go. All right. Yeah, I can take them out. Nice. Now we'll take these guys down. There we are. All right, and then we need the tom-toms in order to jump. We got to put this together. We got to fix the Falcon. That's right. Before we can get out of here, we got to fix the Falcon up. Because the Falcon is as awesome a ship as it is always breaking down. So now we can get on a tauntaun. We can use that thing to jump on top of the ship. Because I see something up on the top. The radar dish looks like it needs repairing. Hey. Fix that. Boop. And that fixes the Falcon and opens up the ramp. All right, cool. A little bit of confusion in here, too. Again, it's sort of par for the course. Come on, get in there. There we go. Now we're going to escape. Uh-oh. Here comes Vader. Milkshake. Nice. All right, we get out. And Luke, that great shot. There they go. And Luke is going to head to Dagobah, while Han and Leia head to Bespin, level complete. And they're going to head to Bespin by way of that cool asteroid, and which turns out to be a monster inside of there. And that's another great sequence. It's one of the smaller sequences in there, but also classic is, flying into the cave and working on the Falcon to fix the hyperdrive, because that's the running thing is they can't, the ship doesn't have any hyperdrive. And it turns out that they're inside of a monster and they fly out of the teeth, and we'll see if they show that here or not. Let's go. Let's see what's next. Are we going to go to Dagobah next or Bespin next? This is chapter 3, so I'll bet it's Dagobah. Chapter 3. Nope, Falcon Flight. Oh, okay. Led by the evil Darth Vader, Imperial forces have overrun the rebel base on the ice planet Hoth. Having bravely stalled the enemy advance, Luke Skywalker has made his escape by X-Wing fighter. And as the last rebel transports lift off from the planet, Han Solo, in the Millennium Falcon, engages the Imperial ships above. Is this another vehicle mission? There's a lot of... All right, I gotta say that the first trilogy, there wasn't a lot of vehicle missions. There was the worst one was in there, but the pod race was genuinely fun. And there was the one where they're chasing the bounty hunter through the city and all that. That one's not that hard, and it goes by pretty quick, and it's not too bad at all. It's not the greatest, but it's not frustrating in any real way. We gotta take all these out, but I gotta tell you, the trilogy here, the new trilogy, we've got a lot. Feels like a lot of vehicle missions, and there's a lot of actually frustrating levels where it's hard to say what you're supposed to do next. Yes, like one of the things that people complain about when you're talking, the natural comparison for Star Wars Lego is between this and Skywalker Saga. Although there are other Star Wars Lego games as well. There's the Clone Wars. There's a standalone for The Force Awakens. What do we got? We got 4 more of these. Right over here, maybe? Where is it? There's one there. There we go. Yeah, this is all 4 of them right here. But, naturally, the Complete Saga and Skywalker Saga are a natural comparison because they both held, at least at the time they came out, all the movies. What am I supposed to be doing here? And one of the complaints is that the levels in the Skywalker Saga are really short. And that's because the structure of Skywalker Saga is actually a little different. Skywalker Saga doesn't just have levels. It has... This is kind of neat. This is actually not a bad level. It's pretty fun. This isn't too bad. The structure's a lot different. You've got the missions, just like you do here. And you've got open world. Like, there's no open world hub or anything like that in this game, but the Lego games all have open worlds that you can run around in. All right, let's see what I'm supposed to do with this. Pick that up. What am I supposed to be doing with this bomb? Oh, there we go. I see something right there. But then the Skywalker Saga actually does something a little different. It's other than missions, it actually has what I guess I would call them pseudo missions, which are goals that you're accomplishing, except it's not actually a standalone mission. It's just stuff out in the real world. And a lot of those, some of them, and there's the other complaint, is a lot of these are just sort of walking from one place to the other while a story's being told. But they also have you do things. Like there's entire sequences of the film that are being, I keep missing these bombs as they show up. There's one right there. Get that guy. Gotta do this 4 times. So Skywalker Saga has you doing stuff outside of the missions that traditionally would be done inside of a mission or a level, so to speak. And so we gotta get another one of those purple doodads. Here's one right there. Got that. So the levels in Skywalker Saga are really short, but if you kind of lump them together with all those pseudo levels, as I say, they're not that short. But the problem is that the levels themselves, the actual levels, are the only thing in Skywalker Saga that you could replay. All those little pseudo story bits, you can't replay any of those. And I'm amazed that they never patched that in so that you could replay those, because there's a lot of the story from the movies that's told in that manner, and there's no way to replay that stuff. The open world is open, and each of the short levels is there, but that's it. So I get that frustration, but that's all to say is one of the complaints of Skywalker Saga is that the levels are quite short compared to Complete Saga. And yeah, some of these levels are actually quite a bit longer. I think the first couple, maybe the Phantom Menace, most of the levels in the Phantom Menace are pretty short. But they're getting longer. And like, for instance, I'm having I'm trying to keep these, it's 1 episode per video, but I'm trying to keep the length to, like an hour would be nice. You make these things too long and it's hard to sit down and watch them because they get to be too long. But the New Hope, the New Hope episode was hour and 40 minutes, I think, was how long that thing was. And this is moving a little quicker, I have to say. But one of the reasons can I pick both of those up? Pick all 3 of them up. There we go. Let's get these guys down. 1. And, I lost it. Oh, no, I got it. It flew back. But some of the reason why these things are long, or they at least feel long, is because sometimes it's a little confusing. I don't know what to do next. It's not real obvious. You play later Lego games, and I think they really solve that problem. You rarely don't know what you're supposed to be doing. You always know where you're supposed to be heading, what you're supposed to be. It's very clear what your next goal is, and the puzzle. What your next thing is to do. I am noticing this has a lot of sequences, at least after, starting with New Hope. I'm really noticing it with this trilogy, is sequences where it's kind of hard to see what you're supposed to do next. And like I said, every time you see what, you finally figure it out, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm a dum-dum. That was an easy thing to do. Why didn't I figure that out sooner? But I think it's just because sometimes it's not made clear in the game what you should be doing to progress. And maybe that's just, sometimes I'm kind of, it seems kind of silly to be arguing about complexity in a Lego game. But complexity is not the same thing as unclear goals. That if a goal's not clear, that doesn't make it, that's cool. It doesn't make it complicated, it just makes it confusing. So, what do we gotta do? We gotta see, is there anything that I need to fly over to pick these up? I have to take out these TIE fighters first. And got one more flying around in here, I think. Just one more. Oh, all right. Huh, interesting. Why, what was all... Maybe those were for mini kits. Those are just extra things. Okay. We are now flying very slowly. Oh, maybe because I'm... I thought I was watching a cutscene because we're flying on our own. All right. Oh, double score. Oh, awesome. Is that it? This is the, see the teeth? In the movie, this is the cave they end up in, and it turns out not to be a cave, but it's actually a creature, a space creature of some sort. When I take this outside of here, I have a feeling it's going to disappear when I go outside. Let's try it, see what happens. Let me hold on to it. It does. All right. Seems like there should be an easier way to get the bombs, though. Like, what are those things? Two things there. All right, let's head back out here. Pick up some bombs out here. I think this is a little easier, maybe. This time. I'm not going to wait. Alright, there's another one. Another one right there. Come on. There we are. That's 3. Maybe those things on the, let's see, where am I going to send these? It should give you a way to get, two more. I was hoping by blowing those things up right there, it would maybe create a little way to pick these things up on our own inside there, but nope. Yeah, all to say, I appreciate the, man, I am really all over the place today. What was I saying? The levels they are definitely longer regardless. But some of the complexity of the original trilogy in the game itself are a little confusing. And the first 3 episodes, I don't think really had that problem. Everything was it's a lot more simple, you know, a little more zippy. So whether that's a good or bad thing, I mean, if, you know, there's a difference when you're just sitting playing and not recording something. You know, just flying around, screwing around, trying stuff can be, you know, fun in its own way. When I'm recording and trying to, what the heck? Come on. Just need one of them. Here we go. And that's that. Yeah, I want things to move along and now what? Oh my gosh. What am I trying to get down there? All right, we got to destroy this big asteroid. And then I see the Star Destroyer over there. That is going to be our next destination. We're going to use that in order to get them off our back. We're going to hide with the crash and make them think that we are destroyed. Oh, baby. So I keep talking about how scatterbrained I am today, and it's for a good reason. So, here we go. go. Yeah, my wife is heading to Korea for a month to do. Well, she's going to see some family and all that. She's from there, but also to do like some mission work with a organization that she's part of, which basically is they go and do acupuncture. She's an acupuncturist, so they go and help people with acupuncture, and then they also they spread the gospel and do all that kind of stuff as part of the mission. And so she was hoping to do something like that, and an opportunity came up to actually go and do it in Korea, which was nice because it's mechanically it's a little easier since she has family there and everything. So all that to say, I had to drop her off at the airport at where is, I feel like there's another bomb in here somewhere, another spot. There we go. Oh, I was missing one. That should be the last one. That take care of it? Oh, we still got maybe one more at least. Let's take another flyby here. So I had to drop her off at the airport at like 3 a.m. and that was a couple days ago. And then I got home and I did not sleep at all the next day. And I slept last night, but you know, it was decent, but it didn't make up for missing the sleep before. But all that to say that like my mind is very foggy today. Like I'm having a hard time. There we go. There's another one there. I'm having a hard time like making points and things like that. Is there another one? Yep, there's another one there. How many of these things are there? There we go. Finally. I feel like I'm probably going to need another one when I head over here. So let's make sure we pick one up and then fly over here. Oh, nope. Cutscene. All right, that ends this one. We're going to go and attach it. You see elbowing her? It's actually pretty funny. There we go. And they are going to jettison their trash right there. They're going to disengage and float away with the trash. And there it is. There is Slave 1 Boba Fett ship. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Let's go ahead and read the next crawl, and then I got something to show you. Because specifically, oops, I skipped the stuff. No, I didn't get anything done other than get through the level. Let's go ahead and continue to chapter 4. This should be Dagobah. 4 is going to be Dagobah, and then 5 and 6 will probably be Bespin. The last one's going to be the iconic lightsaber battle with Luke and Vader. Chapter 4, Dagobah. Luke also has to lose his... Yeah, as part of that, he's going to lose his hand. Dagobah. Han Solo and Princess Leia have finally evaded the Imperial fleet in the Millennium Falcon and are on their way to Cloud City, secretly followed by the bounty hunter Boba Fett. Meanwhile, following instructions relayed to him by the spectral form of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke Skywalker has piloted his X-Wing to the forgotten planet of Dagobah. Accompanied by his trusty droid R2-D2, Luke heads toward the murky swamp world in search of his destiny. Awesome. Dagobah's another great location. We're going to crash. He's going to, you know, as awesome a pilot as Luke is, he's actually going to, he's going to crash and right into the ground. And that's not good news, but we're going to worry about that later. No big deal. We'll figure it out. We'll just buff that out later on. Here we go. Oh! Ah! In he goes. And then he's gonna get thrown out or spit out by... Yeah, he's gonna get eaten and spit out by a big creature. There he is. Bloop. And he goes. Now, was he spit out or was he thrown out? I think he was spit out. I think he was eaten and then, you know, like choked on him. But yeah, so I talked about my favorite ships in Star Wars, you know, like there's going on here. There we go. There's fantastic ships, and I love the ships in Star Wars. There's so many good ones. And one of my favorites is, whoops. Now let's just go up there. Let's not get sidetracked. Stay on target, right? That's what I'm always saying. Stay on target. But my favorite ship in all of the Star Wars is Slave One. Boba Fett's. It was Jango Fett's. I looked this up because I was curious. I was like, is the ship that Jango Fett had, is that the same ship that Boba had, or was it, you know, like just the same type? Because the paint job's different and all that. And so I wasn't completely sure because I don't read the books or, and I don't know the canon outside of the movies for the most part, and maybe some of the video games and all that. But yes, they are in fact the same ship. Interestingly enough, Disney refers to them as Jango's starship and Boba's starship anymore, and I think that's because of the name. You know, the connotation of that name, you know, Slave One. They don't want to deal with that, so they're kind of retconning it into Boba's starship and Jango's starship. But all that to say, I was saying I would like to find a Lego version. And I did. They have a bigger one as well, but this is the small one that they came out with somewhat recently. It was maybe last couple months ago. But this one's, what is that? 707 pieces. You can see, let me put that up there. I can't see my camera right now, but yeah, so there we go. We'll see how that framing is. It's a smaller set. It's got some cool minifigs. It looks really fun. I did think about, they also have a large version of that ship. And it's much, you know, that thing's like thousands of pieces, but the problem is it's like, what is it? Like $300 or something like that. And I'm not really in the mood to spend $300 on a Lego set. So this one was still expensive. It still wasn't cheap. It was, 70? It's like $70. But 70, you know, when I'm thinking about it, I'm like 70 is okay. I'll spend $70 for a smaller version of my favorite ship. And, what's going on? I'm lost. So I spent that, and I will be putting it together. I just picked it up today, so it's not ready yet. I was hoping. It's too bad. I wish I'd picked it up, yesterday or the day before, so that I could have had it put together for this episode. I could show you the whole thing. Maybe give a little mini review of that, even though this isn't a, you know, physical Lego channel. Could still talk about what do we think? Am I supposed to go here? Maybe R2 can make it. He actually can. Oh yeah, there we go. Forget about R2's flying. There you go. Boop. What's that? Make a ladder. Makes a bridge. All right, Luke, get on over here. So I'll have it for the next video when that one comes out. There we go. But I'm looking forward to it because, like I said, it's my favorite ship, and I've kind of always wanted to have one just to display, and you know, I'll put it up there somewhere. Whoops, I'll put it up. Somewhere. I got a bunch of the city skylines. I like the city skylines a lot, and Hogwarts is right there. I know, I'll put it right there somewhere. And yeah, it'll be fun. I think R2 needs to. Maybe if I get on top of this. Now Yep, there we go. That was enough to. That's enough to do it. Very good. And here we go. Luke jumps on there. Whoopsie doodle. There. Very good. All right. Yeah, so I'll have that thing together I'll probably put it together sometime early next week or early this week, and we'll get a good look at it next episode. Like I said, I'll talk about it a little bit. I'll give I think there are people that are playing these games and enjoying them probably also enjoy Lego, just beyond the, there are more exciting, whatever, Star Wars games that you could be playing if you're just a Star Wars fan. So I think you also have to kind of enjoy the Lego aesthetic. These games also are great for collection. If you're I love collecting, and I'm not, I like shooting games and stuff too, but sometimes I just like to relax and not be inundated with all the violence and all that. So these are kind of relaxing. But you probably like Lego if you like these games, so maybe if I give a little quick breakdown of... You might enjoy a little breakdown of my experience putting that thing together, so I'll talk about it a little bit. All right, what do we got here? Oh, what was that? Oh, bats. Come here, bat. Ah, there we go. The Batman. Speaking of Batman, so we are rapidly going through all these. We're coming close to the end of the campaign for these. So I had different thoughts on what I might do. So once the campaign is done, I am going to be 100% completing this game, but I might take a little break from this game when I finish, and then can I take over Yoda? Can I play as him? Yoda. Let's see. Mostly because... Oh, look at that. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Alright, let's take R2. I think R2 needs to go over here. Something. Yeah, he needs to jump up onto this. Clear up some bridges. Okay. Another one? Yeah, so when I'm done with the campaign for this one, I was going to switch to another game, and I wasn't sure which one. At first, I thought maybe I would just do all these in the order that they were released. So after the next game that TT Games did was Indiana Jones. Lego Indiana Jones is the next one after this. But I kind of wanted to play a Batman game because of all the Legacy of the Dark Knight stuff that's been going on. Once we're done with this, which is going to be one more video, we're moving on to the Batman. The first one, the original. Oh, yeah, there we go. I might be able to throw him far enough to... Nope. I feel like I gotta hit that thing over there. Oh, at least I can use the Force here. Yoda's using the Force. I'm... Ah, ha, ha. There it is. That's what I gotta do. I see. There they are. There's that. 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 And there we go. We've got... Nice. Okay. That should make that one go. More. And then this is going to build a bridge. It's going to get my guy over there. Perfect. Oof. I feel very much like I can't blame the game for this today. I'm just so out of it and so... because of my lack of sleep. Yeah, that lets bats out. Maybe I shouldn't even let these bats out. Alright, now I can jump over here with... Whoops. Oopsie doodle. I was doing it in the other videos is when this got too, like when this was just too much, I just cut a lot of the frustrating stuff out. so that you don't have to sit there and watch going back and forth, trying to get the exact order right and keeping Yoda from falling off Luke's back. All right, let's get R2 over there. Get both of those knocked down. Put R2 up here. And then when he goes up there, and now this should lift up. And there we go. So, and then finally that. So like when it works, when you get it to work, it's not complicated at all. It's not, there's nothing going on here that's rocket science. The problem is everything is sort of imprecise, and there's just enough jankiness, let's say, that it's hard to go through that precise sequence of events without something going wrong. And you end up having to redo it a bunch of times. And that is kind of frustrating. Oh, now we actually have Yoda. Oh, look at that. All right. Not sure what the purpose of this thing is. Oh, that's so that R2 can get up there. All right. All right. Yep. Now I got to switch to R2 and fly over here. Nice. This isn't so bad. Yeah. So those little sequences are kind of annoying because you just end up having to replay, and it's not, if it's because I can't figure out what to do, that's one thing. That's, Oh, interesting. Nice. All right. And next. All right. Is he going to fight? Is he going to fight himself in the cave? Yes, I think it is. This is going to be the sequence where he fights himself, or he fights Darth Vader, only to find out that, when the mask comes off, he sees himself. So he's, dealing with the possibility that he could turn to the dark side, which is a good theme of this movie, too. That's the other thing, is the themes are pretty good in here. There we go. So it's a cool little bit of symbolism. On that. Bridges. That needs like Anakin or somebody like that to that. Blue mushrooms. Very good. This sequence is pretty straightforward. It's less frustrating, at least. What do we got up here? Where's R2? I gotta be able to figure out a way to get R2 up here. Assuming that's not just like a... Might not matter. Might just be, Oh, interesting. This looks like I'm gonna be able to... There we go. Wonder how R2 is gonna get over here. He really shouldn't have been able to make those jumps. There he is. Ah. The old double jump and stomp attack. There it is. Here we go. Let's build something. Let's see what we can do. Put this together. Some little puzzly bit here. Ah, I see. This is going to let me get up there, probably. Let's bring this over here. Ah, interesting. All right, let's grab that power up and get on here. And Yoda will get on there. And we will advance ourselves up there. Haha. And now he's going to go over there. And I think I already have that thing set up to be able to get up there. Got this. Double jump here. Nice. This is a not bad little boss fight. Kind of basic, you know, not too complicated. I think the final one against him later is going to be more interesting, but still not bad. Where'd he go? 1 and 2, and he is down. That's probably going to end the level, although we still have the stuff with getting his X-Wing out of the swamp. I like, though, that at a certain point, Luke was able to use the Force. At the beginning of this, that's actually a pretty cool thing. At the beginning of this level, Luke could not use the Force. I tried to do a couple things, and he couldn't do it. You needed Yoda in order to use the Force. And now, that's sort of showing his learning. Now that we're at the end of the level, Luke is able to use the Force just fine. So he has completed his training. Yoda has taught him well. I have taught you well, young Skywalker. Here we go. Get over there. Hit that bridge. I don't know if it's timed, so let's move. Come on. Kill the bats. Oh my gosh. Bats, I think, are the most annoying enemy in this game. There's the question for today. We'll reiterate it at the end if I can remember it. Is the most annoying enemy from this episode. And for me, other than the controls, I think the controls are certainly one of the more annoying enemies from this, but the bats, these are some annoying enemies. They're small, they're not hard to kill, but they just gang up on you and they're knocking Yoda off your back constantly. And here we got 5 of them. I see some more bats out there flying around. There's just bats everywhere. All right, great. What's next? Goodbye, bat. I see a thing up there. I can't get at it, though. I gotta swing at this thing here. Nope, that's not. Here we go. Interesting. Is that a washing machine? Kind of look like a washing machine. Interesting. I'm not sure what purpose it served. What are we missing here? Let's run around over here. Let's just start destroying things. Not sure if opening that is something I'm trying to accomplish. Oh, here we go. Let's get over here. I recognize this. That'll lift us up here. And then I gotta push that thing down. Here we go. Now we're cooking with butter. Let's do that. And boom. Put that together. Yeah, this is gonna make okay. I thought it looked kind of like it looked a little bit like a lever of some sort to open those doors, and it is actually a panel that R2 needs to hit, and that should open this door, I'm guessing. Let's see what happens. That's one way of opening a door, is blowing it up. Perfect. And here's the X-Wing. Gotta get that thing up, and Luke's not gonna be able to do it. He's gonna fail. Which means, haha. So stuff like this, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, it's awesome. See, now Yoda's is green. And Yoda is able to get the X-Wing out. Luke couldn't do it, but Yoda could. That's straight out of the movies. So you can even see his force power is green while Luke's is blue. In the next episode, Return of the Jedi, Luke is going to become, he's a full Jedi. And his lightsaber becomes green. So like that green is representing more power. Oh, there's Ben again. Obi-Wan. Of course, Obi-Wan. So yeah, that was a pretty fun level. There are a couple of confusing things. That annoying thing with knocking Yoga off your back. But I like that. That's the thing. It's, some of the controls and stuff are a little wonky and everything, but man, those little details that Luke can't pull the X-Wing out of the water, but Yoda can. It shows a keen understanding of the movies and that, they were fans they didn't have to make it. Although I think people would have complained if Luke did the thing. But, starting off the level where Luke didn't have any force powers. And then as he's progressing, he becomes able to use the force. It's a nice representation of what the movie is. And that kind of stuff is just awesome in this game. And I believe we are now on chapter 5, which is going to be the Cloud City. Guessing? Cloud City? Empire Strikes Back, chapter 5. Yes. Cloud City trap. It's a trap! Aha! Barely a few weeks into his Jedi training with Yoda, Luke Skywalker has had a vision of his friends captured by Darth Vader. Against Yoda's advice, the impetuous young Jedi sets his X-Wing fighter on a course for Cloud City. Impetuous, that's a good word. Here, he hopes to find Han Solo and Princess Leia, little guessing in his haste that he himself is the true target of Vader's trap. Yeah, this is awesome. So I guess we're skipping... are we going to go back in time? Nope. So we're skipping where Luke and Leia get to Bespin and do all their thing. We're just going to go to Luke fighting his way through here. And then I'm going to guess that, so this is going to be Luke working his way through. And then the last one is probably, they're going to split this into 2 episodes the way like the Death Star in the last episode was split into 2 chapters. You dirty dogs. Here we go. Pain in the butt. Let's see if R2 can get over here. Nope. That is not what he's supposed to be doing. I'm missing. All right, let's see. I think he could do this, though. Yeah, but it won't matter. We need Luke over here. Luke needs to put that. And he will not make it over there without opening that bridge. So what? Maybe R2 can make it from here. Let's see. I feel like... Yeah, there we go. That's better. Is that a red brick? It is a red brick. Ah, and I think I need a stormtrooper in order to get over that and destroy that. Oh, that's great. Yeah, see, I've seen several red bricks now. I'm looking forward to those. Those are going to give us the power. Hopefully the multipliers. We really want to find the stud multipliers. What is up here? Missing something? Oopsie doodle. All right. Wait. You here? That is a window. That is not a door. All right, let's come back here. What am I missing? What am I missing here, people? change the camera. I mean, it's plain as day. This is where I'm supposed to be. R2 opened this door. Did I have to do it twice? Oh, I had to do it twice. Ah, that's silly. Never have you had to do it twice. And this time you did. That's a little silly too. There we go. Nice. It's just, hopefully these guys will stop showing up eventually. All right. Awesome. Here we go. Build whatever this is. Some kind of a laser. Come on. Go. It won't let me get on here. It should let me get on here, but it won't. Because I'm guessing I need that to destroy this. Those blue thingamabobs there. I also thought I saw it light up before. Leave here and see if... Oh, I see. Now, I'm overthinking again. There's a panel right there that R2 can open. Let's go ahead and do that. That is going to open that thing up. That's going to let me slide this over here. That is going to open that thing up. That little laser doodad was a red herring. Awesome. And now here we go. Okay. All right. And there we go. Open that up. I need a bounty hunter in order to clear that one. Can't do that. Down here. Another R2 panel. Open that up. Right, so far I'm digging this level. This is cool. Oh, hat mechanic. Oh, we know about the hat mechanic. I know I'll be back here to pick up that hat again before I actually use it. I'm feeling quite confident that I will need to get that hat again. All right. There we go. Let's not forget the old 1-2 double jump. Oh! Don't tell me that Vader has defeated the 1-2 double jump strategy. Look at that. He jumps every time I jump. Or when I'm getting ready to dive. Let's see what I need to do here. Is there that is interesting. Ah. All right, I got it. That is... He jumps around. Whenever you try to hit him, he jumps from vent to vent. If you turn the vents on, it can't do that. And now you can hit him. Yeah, there we go. And now he's just going to keep going from vent to vent. I got it. Okay, this is... I wish I'd figured it out a little quicker, but that's actually pretty neat. Again, it's the same problem of it's not letting you know... It's not letting you know organically what you're supposed to do here. It's just, it's very arbitrary. It's like, I gotta turn that thing on so that Vader doesn't jump from thing to thing. Okay, it's cool. I'm a divided. This whole game gives me a bit of a divided mind thing. All right, get in there. I gotta pick up. Oops. Hello. Pick up R2. I gotta put him over here so that he can open this. There we go. That'll open that platform so Luke can get over there, and Luke needs a helmet. I'm quite sure Luke needs a helmet in order to open that thing up. So let's go get my helmet. Yeah, so that mechanic right there of activating the vents so that Vader can no longer jump from vent to vent and Luke can actually go ahead and hit him is a great mechanic. But it can be a little frustrating to figure that out. You see the little individual parts. And again, once you do it, it makes complete sense. But like in the moment to moment, the first time you're going through it, it's like, what are you supposed to do? It's not super obvious. It's gonna lose its hand pretty soon. But on the other hand, I mean, it is neat. It's neat, so I don't know. What do you do here? How do you figure this out? I think I need R2 to do that. Let's get over here, and Luke still has his helmet. It's probably going to go back and forth, I'm guessing, right? Yes. Another fan. Now I need R2 over here. So how is R2 going to make his way over here? Ah, that's how. R2 should also be blown up here by the fan. Awesome. Uh-huh. Luke over here. Now go up there. And it's pretty cool. I'm like we're fighting our way through just like in the movie where, you know, like Vader is evading. Evader. Ah, interesting. There we go. And yeah, this is awesome. If it was a little more clear what you're supposed to do in certain situations. Which is why, as much as, you know, like when you're comparing this to Skywalker, it's like you have to think about that. You know, everybody just, it's Complete Saga is better and blah, blah, blah. And there are some problems with Skywalker Saga. It's too big. Like I said, it's a problem that you can't replay all those levels that are just, you know, the walking levels. The walking segments that aren't really levels. But on the other hand, there's never really a question of what you're supposed to, and maybe that's a negative. There's never any real question of what you're supposed to be doing. There's no frustrates. The controls have improved quite a bit. I don't know. I'll be playing Skywalker Saga at some point. You know, after the Batman stuff. I don't know. I got a lot I gotta get through. I also want to do the Harry Potter games. Those are the Harry Potter ones are actually objectively, those are probably my favorites. I love the Hogwarts hub. I think it's the best hub world in any of these games, at least subjectively. And I think Marvel's New York City and Marvel Superheroes is amazing, and the hub world of Skywalker is amazing. It's just huge. But I love the Harry Potter stuff. I was always a fan of those games. Where is here we go. Go ahead and do that. Oh yeah, so I got to do the Batman games. I'm eventually going to do them all. I got to do Harry Potter, so I'm not sure what order I'm doing them all in. I think after this will be Batman, the original one, and then after that, maybe Batman 2. Maybe I'll just like go through all, I'll do Batman, and then maybe the second one. I'll do the 3 Batmans, but I will probably interrupt them with a playthrough of the Harry Potter game, just as a, you know, a little bit of a break. What's next? What is next? How do I already went up here with R2. Is there something else? No, at one point he had to do 2 of these. So maybe. Yeah. Okay, see? There we go. All right. Should have taken those guys out first. Got out. I think I have to go up there one more time and turn the other vent on with R2, and then that'll end this area here. And then I had it backwards. The last chapter is going to be after Luke, and yeah, after this, it'll probably be Han, and oh, Han is already carbonite by now. Yeah, maybe we'll see what happens here. Oh, I see. No, I got it. I see what I got to do. I got to hit that other one a second time, the other switch. So let's go. All right, there we go. Let's lower this. And then get R2 up to that one. He's going to turn that one on again. And that's going to turn on the other vent. Blow Vader down here. I can hit him 2 more times and wrap this up. Oh, Vader. And there we go. And he's going to run again. Like Grievous. Grievous was a big runner. He was always running. And Maul. Darth Maul. Always running. But I suppose if you're trying to do like a multi-stage boss, I mean, this whole level's one big boss fight. This is like the Maul sequence, you know. It's the Darth Maul sequence. Is, you know, you fight him, and then you go through a little platforming sequence, and then you fight him again. And this is designed in a very similar way. But Vader is a better villain than Darth Maul. How long is this going to go on for? Going to keep happening forever? These are when I get a little confused. Am I supposed to be doing something else here? Or will this eventually stop? Because it doesn't feel like it's going to eventually stop. Alright, let's see if... There we go. Ah. Alright, I gotta close it. There we go. Oh, that's kind of funny. Cut him in half. Nice. And there we go. And let him chuck those things at me. Boop. Nice. There we go. This is, yeah, this section right here is very reminiscent of the Darth Maul fight at that first stage, where you've got the battle droids. You need to take them out, and then Maul's gonna step forward, and after he steps forward, he's gonna start using his force powers to throw stuff, and you have to pick it up and throw it back in order to hit him. That's twice. And that's all of them. Now we should move on to the... Nope. Again. Looks like I got them all. Why is he not dead? Alright, that's fine. Alright, but yeah, this is okay. Like, they make the boss sequences interesting. Like, and these mechanics aren't too bad. It's, you know, like the jankiness. Come on. Let's go. One more. There we go. Boop. Nice. Awesome. That should build a ramp and let me get across. Awesome. Glass ramp. I think this is gonna... Snag that mini kit. Platform. Yeah, I'm enjoying this. The couple annoying bits in here are not enough to... Interesting. Oh, dummy. Kind of looked like that was a weird optical illusion. Looked like it was underneath. Come on, R2. But I like this. I like this sequence. I liked it in the other one too. Is working my way through these levels and then having little sub boss battles before it finally ends. It's a lot more dramatic. You know, it's very much how the movie was like. Is the battle didn't just take place in one thing, and you know, I guess I didn't much think about it. Is how much the Darth Maul sequence is a callback to this sequence. And how they happen. Oh, yep, there we go. I am your father. No! What? No! No, you're not. You're lying. Search your feelings, Luke, and you will see that it is the truth. There we go. I'm going to jump down. I always thought this was cool. Does the great little slide. And then he just happens, this is a little Deus Ex Machina, just happens to land on the little platform that dumps him out the bottom. And there he is. And now we're going to play through Han or Leia and Chewie getting out of here. I hope they show the sequence where Han gets frozen in carbonite. We're going to see that. But that was fun. That was fun. A couple little frustrating sequences, but they were far outweighed by the, that was pretty fun. Same like Dagobah was also fun with some, there's always a button there, you know, it's like, but a little bit of frustration there. And it's a little too bad, but maybe they remade this or just, you know, remastered it and cleaned up the controls and some of the confusing stuffs a little bit. This would be really, really perfect. It would be an easy to say that this is the best from the Star Wars games, but right, let's see. Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, Chapter 6. This is going to be the last one. And this is going to be Betrayal over Bespin. Let's see how much of this we're playing. Escaping from the rebel defeat on Hoth, Han Solo has sought sanctuary on Cloud City high above the planet Bespin. His old friend Lando Calrissian is now Baron Administrator of this self-governing colony, and Han hopes for a warm welcome. But in this time of galactic upheaval, nothing is as it seems. Okay, so we're kind of going back in time a little bit because at this point when Luke, yeah, okay, so a lot of this is happening at the same time because when Luke is fighting Vader, Han has already been frozen in carbonite. That's pretty funny. Hello, hello. What have we here? Lando's such a pimp. Yeah, so we're kind of going back in time a little bit. And now the betrayal. And there's Boba Fett. And now we're getting Han. We're back in that same chamber. We fought Vader in here. I like the little wink. I love the best dialogue. My favorite dialogue from all the Star Wars movies, though, is right here. And that is where Leia goes, you know, like he's getting ready to get frozen, and then Leia's like, I love you. And then Han, they shoot the shot, you know, they cut to Han, and you're ready for him to say, I love you too. But no, what does Han say? He says, I know. It's just awesome. I wonder if that... It makes me wonder if that was like ad-libbed as just, you know, Harrison Ford doing something kind of funny. And they kept it in because it is just hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious that in that moment, he's just like, oh, I know you love me, babe. You know, why would you not? Obviously. It's great. So that's favorite. You know what? What did I say? The line was need to do here. How do I get up there? Oh, there's another lever right here. Gonna open up the stairs. Awesome. All right, there we go. Yeah, so you know what? This is going to be an oddly specific, but what's your favorite? The Star Wars movies have a lot of great lines in them, like zippy pieces of dialogue. May the Force be with you. That's probably the most popular one. May the Force be with you. Let go of your feelings, Luke. Oh, look at that. We've got a boba. Looks like, oh yeah, because this is a gun guy. He's not going to be able to do the 2 jumps in and just like really good dialogue, even stuff that's not necessarily iconic. But Lando with his hello, what have we here? It's just great. It's funny. It's hilarious. It gets, it actually tells a story, tells you a little bit about who Lando is. He is a bit of a, you can see why he and Han were friends, or at least associates. Where am I supposed to? I guess I'm going back this way. So it's just good dialogue. And so here's the question for today. And I like this question better because the other one was, what's your favorite ship or whatever the heck it was earlier. I already forgot it. That's how generic the question it was. But here's a genuinely good one. And we can take this from all of the Star Wars movies because there's lots of good stuff in there. What is your favorite line from the Star Wars movie? This is your favorite bit of dialogue. And, it could be, may the Force be with you. That is a classic line for a reason. There's a reason why, they say it in every movie, and it's just sort of become it is a classic piece of dialogue. And so mine, however, is that little moment with between Han and Leia, and she's like, I love you, and he's like, I know. And I love it to the point where I say it to my wife all the time. It's, I'll just, and I explained it to her once before. I said, I know, and she didn't, I think she wasn't a Star Wars fan or anything, so she just looked at me side-eyed when she heard me say that. And so I had to explain to her what it was all about. But that is my favorite line, and there it is. There's that ship. There is that lovely ship. I kind of wish this, I'm going to show it again. I kind of wish that this was the boba coloring. I like that beat up olive drab coloring a lot, more than the blue of when Jango had it, which is a lot more polished, I guess. But regardless, best ship. So yeah, you tell me in the comments, what is your favorite line of dialogue from the Star Wars movie? I'm hoping to get some, there's some good ones. Let's get some interesting stuff in there. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at this. All right, look. All right, I'm Lando. Let's walk up to Leia, and I'm going to hit the B button. Come on. Do it. Do it. Maybe I got to fight. Come on. Did he just do it once? You saw that, right? You saw him grab her hand and kissed her hand, and maybe it's not the B button. Maybe it's... Nope. Nope. Maybe it's just a one-time thing. Oh, that was funny. I've never seen that before. That's hilarious. Oh, I just realized I have R2 with me. Okay. So R2, yeah, because Luke is now sitting at the bottom of the Cloud City. R2 has now been freed up. So now we're past the point where Vader and Luke did their fighting, and now we're going to move on. We're still missing 3PO. He got beat up pretty bad. I'm guessing we're going to pick him up at some point, and he's going to be destroyed. Interesting. All right, this is cool. I like this level. I'm digging this level. This needs to go over here. Come on. Get out of the R2. There we go. Look at these dudes. The little pig dudes. And perfect. And here he is. I knew we were going to pick 3PO up at some point. This is good. All right, this level is quickly becoming a favorite. I'm digging this. I'm not getting frustrated at all. Let's bring him out here because there was a door that needed him. Right here. Where are you? Come on, 3PO. You were so slow. Oh, those are like the Jawas. Remember this? I was thinking when we played this, I was thinking there was a bug because R2 kept freezing up all of a sudden, and I couldn't figure out why he was freezing up, and it was because the Jawas were hitting him with the little laser things that activate the restraining bolt. And then I found it, and I was like, "Oh, that's actually completely different. That's really good." Yeah, that's right. Chewbacca can do that great move. And Chewbacca, where? He can. Oh my gosh. And it doesn't fit. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Amazing. He can put the helmet on, but it doesn't fit because he's so big. Oh, you know what? I'm just noticing some of these things. There, he can pull the arms off. Oh, so much goodness. I'm guessing I need... That's, one of these is probably going to need a stormtrooper helmet. Of course. Of course. Take these guys out. All right, let's get Lando down here. And it's fun. That's pretty hilarious that the helmet wouldn't fit on Chewbacca. I want it to be on him though, because I want to see if it still works. It should still work, even though it's ridiculous. And obviously, this big giant hairy guy with a cockeyed stormtrooper helmet on his head. And yet, that door is going to open for him anyway, because that is the way it is. Let's see. And he knelt down, too. Did you see him? He hunched down because... all right, we need to get back to the... We need to get back to the Falcon so that we can get up and we can take off. And we can... I should hit that power up. This guy's going to keep coming forever? Nope. There we go. Nice. Right. Gotta know. Lando's got to be able to do that. You know it. Oh, yeah. That is going to get... Oh, I gotta bring... All right, hold on. Let's make sure we get... I gotta get R2 and 3PO up here. There we go. Now let's get R2. R2 actually should be able to jump this, but I guess he didn't. He would have come over on his own. Awesome. Now, R2 and 3PO should be able to use the elevator. 3PO should be making his way over here. Oh, I gotta lower this one more time. It doesn't go down on its own. It's fine. 3PO up here. Jump this. Why did that happen? That's interesting. It wasn't doing that before. Ah. Interesting. Interesting. Why? Be this? There. That's weird. That's a little bugginess. Like I literally just did that thing. And yet. Alright, how do I get over there? R2 can get across this. Oh, you know what? I got it. Here we go. Alright. R2 can probably make... Here we go. Yeah, that's not bad. That's fine. That was... Yeah, got it. That should open up a platform. Nice. There we go. So, push that down there. I'm not sure what's going on here. All right, let's hit that. There we go. That. Just have to jump and shoot. And now 3PO can get over here and open this door. Not sure what the point of these is. There we go. Get out of my way. Move. Boop. Well, this ought to actually give me a mini kit because there was 3 of them you needed to do. Ah. Almost had it. That's great. A little slower killing them that way, but much more fun. All right, that's 3. That gives me a mini kit. Whew. This is a fun level. This one's going to be on the list. This is a very fun level. I think any of the little frustrating bits, I think were mostly on me. None of those were particularly... what are we doing here? Oh, probably just need R2. Come on. Not sure which droid I need over here. But let's go. I'm going to guess it's R2. R2's usually one that disables systems. C-3PO's doors and things. I think, is there one right here? Huh? That is where I need to go to get the Millennium Falcon. That's where I'm heading eventually. I feel like there's still stuff to do over here, though. Because it's too far out. All right. We got... Yeah. I gotta do something to... here we go. Look at a Lando. There we go. Take care of the second one. That opens that. Now we go back. There we go. Now we go back here and go out the other door that we'd opened up. And then that's going to get us to the Falcon. We might have another fight with... no, I mean, Boba left already. So I don't think we're going to have any more. We're just going to need to fight our way out. No little boss ending or anything like that. Just going to be a bunch of guys. They're going to keep coming in. How long do they go for? And sometimes I wonder about this because some of these things are waves and they have a limit to how long they go. You know, like X number of guys come out. The guy had on a bathing suit. But then other times they will just keep coming until you do something, and it's not always clear which one you're supposed... I think you need Jar Jar jump for that. It's not always clear which one you're supposed to be doing. All right. That finishes this up. We're gonna do this. Then we're gonna have the final. We'll end this episode, this chapter with a cutscene, and then we'll have the final cutscene of the thing, and that will wrap up the Empire. The Empire Strikes Back. Here we go. Oh, what's going on? Gotta go back. Why do we have to go back? Because she senses Luke talking to her, and that's because he's her brother. Weird brother-sister thing. Here we go. He's got a black eye from falling, I guess. His hand got cut off, so. Nice. And there we go. They took out the stuff about the hyperdrive being disabled for so long and then finally working. All right. Episode 5 complete. Super story unlocked. Let's watch this final... let's unlock Lando. I haven't been paying much attention to everyone that we've been unlocking, but quite a few. Quite a few things have been unlocked. We did not get very far towards True Jedi. We mostly I think we got one True Jedi in every... Out of all the chapters we played, I think I've only gotten one True Jedi out of all of them. We just got one mini kit. That's fine. And one brick. Yeah. It's 1 per chapter, so 6 per episode, but there's one extra one because of the one True Jedi. So let's finish this story up. Let's see how they're gonna wrap it. Yeah, this is a great ending in the cliffhanger-y sense. It's not a cliffhanger in the sense that it just, a true cliffhanger is that something, you're right in the middle of an action scene and then you halt the episode or the chapter before the action scene itself is resolved. That's a cliffhanger and stuff. That's a true cliffhanger. This is more unresolved story. Is there, things have happened. There are things that they need to deal with and they haven't been dealt with yet. And so we end this with them, they're getting ready to go off and get Han. Rescue Han from Boba Fett. And Luke is, he got his medal. That stupid hand. That's funny. That's awesome. So yeah, it's a good ending. I guess it's not really a cliffhanger, technically, but it's a cliffhanger. And that finishes it. All right, so I was going to say that come the end, I was supposed to come around to decide if Empire was a better movie than New Hope. And I think it probably, there's so much cool stuff in it. And, A New Hope is like a standalone perfection. It's just, but if you count this as the second in a trilogy, even though the first and the second aren't necessarily structured like a trilogy. It's because we didn't know if there was going to be one. I don't know, but this does lead directly into Return of the Jedi. This is fantastic. So we're going to wrap this up here. This one was pretty long because lots of frustration stuff. I'll cut all that out so you don't have to watch it. But we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. If you enjoyed this episode, I would ask you to go ahead and send a like and a subscribe and hit the notification bell and a comment and all that. YouTube really likes to see that engagement, the subscriptions and things. And so that will all help the channel to grow. It's your way of directly letting me know that you're enjoying this. It helps me know that you're having a good time. If you don't let me know, then I won't know that if people like this or not. But specifically for the comments, go ahead and leave a comment about your favorite line of Star Wars dialogue. Let's keep it to the movies because the TV shows and all that, I haven't really watched much of those, and I'd like it if I recognize the dialogue. But I guess if you really feel strongly about it, you go ahead and put what you want. But it's favorite bit of movie dialogue. But until next time, this is Ken with Golden Stud Gaming saying play, collect, and complete. Take it easy.